What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Bowls Deep Fishing. Today we are going to do a walkthrough of how I installed my bow mount trolling motor on my NuCanoe Unlimited. Check it out. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day. It's a beautiful day here in Dawsonville, Georgia. I was planning on getting out in the water today, but a lot of work stuff came up, so I wasn't able to get out. So I figured I'd just hop out in the garage and create some content for y'all. So today I've been getting a lot of questions about my bow mount trolling motor, how I set it all up on the NuCanoe Unlimited. It was a very, very easy install. It was a little bit of time consuming between drilling holes, running wires, getting plugs, so on and so forth. So it was a little bit of time consuming, but for the most part, it was a very, very easy install. And all you're basically gonna need is obviously your bow mount trolling motor. I use the one from Amazon that I think it's Haswing. It's like 500 bucks on Amazon. You can't beat it. It's a 55-pound thrust trolling motor. It beats, getting. Sorry, I thought somebody was pulling my driveway. It beats, going out if you don't have the money around to get the Motor Guide XI3. It definitely is a huge money saver, and also it works very, very well. I've had 2 of them already, and I love them to death. So you're obviously going to need that. You're going to need your quick release bracket, which you can buy that with your trolling motor whenever you're going to Amazon. You're going to need some AQUOS plugs, plug and play type system. There's a couple of different brands out there, but I use AQUOS. That was the easiest access for me. And with my trolling motor, you had to use the 2-wire one versus the 3-wire or the 4-wire or 5-wire plug. You're going to obviously need a drill bit, a 1-inch drill bit. To basically drill your hole to basically mount your plug into your boat or wherever you decide to put it. You're also going to need some extra 6-gauge wire. Okay, so your trolling motor has 8-gauge wire on it, but with the distance between, if you're having your battery in the back, you're going, again, about a 12-foot distance, so you're going to need that thicker gauge wire to run from your motor to your battery. So everyone I've spoke to and how I've done in the past, I've always used, if your motor has 8-gauge wire, you're going to use 6-gauge wire to run the distance between the motor to the battery. Also, you're going to need is some type of battery. I recently just purchased the Amped Outdoors 60 amp battery. This thing is about 15 pounds, phenomenal. And this puppy lasts all day. These are hard to get your hands on. As soon as they get released on the website to order, they're usually gone within a few minutes. So you just have to keep an eye on the website. They'll notate, okay, the batteries are coming in this day, or they'll be released this day, and you got to be there basically as soon as they open. I think I ordered mine at like 7 o'clock in the morning. It may have been 6 o'clock in the morning. I got right on. I've been looking for that battery for probably 4 months now. And then obviously you're going to need some electrical tape, just your basic tools. Electrical tape, wire connectors, battery terminal connectors. That was another thing I had to get. But for the most part, like I said, it's a very, very easy install. I've already installed mine, or I would take you along with me while I installed it. The reason for that is I've said in my previous videos, I had a tournament I was trying to get this thing rigged out really quick for. Ended up not fishing that tournament, but at least it's all rigged out. So basically, and then also you're going to need your bow mount. Your bow mount from NuCanoe. Now the NuCanoe Unlimited bow mount, that is currently on back order. So I actually bought an F12 bow mount, a Frontier 12 bow mount, and I actually modified it to make it work until I got my hands on the unlimited bow mount. Some people say you can do it, some people say you can't do it, so I kind of just went out on a limb, got one, and see if I can make it work, because I like to make my own mounts. So, and actually it worked. You have to do a little bit of shimming. You got to take some parts out that come with it, but for the most part, it was a very, very easy modification. Drill a few extra holes, so on and so forth. So basically what I'm gonna do, and again, guys, I'm by myself today. I don't have my daughter film me or anybody else help me out film this. So basically I'm gonna have to walk through, you know, with the camera in hand and kind of show you how I did everything. So hopefully this will help you out. If not, definitely reach out to me and I can answer any questions you may have, guys. So let me get everything set up and we will get right into this install, guys. Stay classy, stay tuned. It's gonna be a good one. Deuces. All right, guys, so first thing I'm gonna go over before I get my motor and everything mounted up is I wanna go over these wiring plates again from NuCanoe. This is by far one of the coolest accessories that NuCanoe has introduced into their boats. I hope they do it on all the models moving forward. I really hope so, because they come in very, very helpful. So as you know, NuCanoe is an open floor plan. So you don't really have front access to, you obviously do on some of the models, but especially on the Unlimited, you don't have front access. So if you do want to put your bow mount troll motor on, you're gonna have to figure out some way to either drill into your boat and fish the wires that way. So what they did is they actually made these wiring plates. You have one at the front and you have two in the middle, and then you can obviously access your back from the back hatch. But what's really cool with these is it only takes 4 screws. You pop 4 screws off of this. There's a rubber gasket up underneath it. And then basically it's still the plastic of the boat up underneath this plate, but you can obviously drill out or cut out that plastic area, and then you have access to the front of the boat. So basically what I did here is I took my mounting plate off. I took a 1-inch drill bit, because that's what the AQUOS plug called for, and I basically drilled through the plug, and then I drilled right on top of that another 1-inch hole straight through into the boat itself. And then basically I didn't mount nothing here because these are still solid. And then right here on each side of the NuCanoe you have a little plug area. You can either use the Yak Attack through hole transducer or through hole wiring kit, or like I said, I use the AQUOS, and actually fits the shape fairly well that's cut out into the boat. And so basically I drilled my 1-inch at the front of the boat, and then I also drilled my 1-inch back here. But basically what I did is once I had that hole drilled, I didn't have a wiring snake to fish my wires through the boat. So basically what I did, I married my red 6-gauge wire and my black 6-gauge wire. I married them together with electrical tape, and I basically used that as my fish, or my fish snake, to get my wires back. So basically I just pushed them through this 1-inch hole before I installed the plug, and then I went ahead and I ran it all the way. I fished it all the way through my boat, and I actually opened up my back hatch, and I basically fished it to the back hatch, and I got my wires, which they're tucked up in there now. Actually, here they are here. Here's the wires that I fished. So basically I fished them all the way to the back hole till I saw it, and then I used this back access hatch to basically make sure I had enough wire on each end hanging off. And then I went ahead and drilled my 1-inch hole here. I pulled the wires, the 6-gauge wire, out of this hole, and then I basically did everything external, wiring it to the plug, so on and so forth. But going back down here is, keep in mind, guys, this has a rubber gasket, and then also, so you kind of you got to keep everything all together. So whenever you run your wires, you need to have your gasket already in place, so you don't have to basically unfish your wires and then run the rubber gasket around your wires again. So just keep that in mind. And then basically what you do from there is you just obviously this will not be on the boat itself. Your wires will be sticking out through this hole, and there's actually a red and black wire on the back of this. You just marry those 2 wires together with a wire connector, some shrink tube, and some electrical tape, and then your front plug is done. Once I had my front plug in place, I pushed it all the way down. I screwed in to make it a really tight seal. Then I went ahead and installed the screws back in the wiring plate. Once I had my front one done, I went ahead and I started working in the back, because basically once I had the front one installed, I could pull out all my slack of my wire, make it nice and clean. I drilled my 1-inch hole here. I ran my wires back through the boat up into this hole and then out this hole, and then I turned around and basically installed the 6-gauge wire onto the plug itself, just like I did in the front, with wire connectors, shrink tube, and electrical tape, and then turn around and basically push that plug back in, install the 2 screws, and basically your plugs are in at this time. Okay, so what that means is now you have to work on, I can go ahead and put my motor on my boat, stand by one. So then I can go ahead and put my bow mount on the motor itself, and then go ahead and basically make my wires, my male connectors of my wires, attach it one to the trolling motor, and then I turn around and I attached another one to my battery terminal, the same scenario. So basically now I can easily connect and disconnect the battery in the back without having to undo any wires. Same thing up front, easily connect the trolling motor to the front plug. Basically that turns this boat into, and there's dog hair on that, that's kind of gross. Basically that makes this boat plug and play. Now with my trolling motor, I have a wireless remote, okay? So that's how I operate this motor right here. Sometimes you have to have, like with Torpedo, you gotta have the throttle that you have to refish back through and put your throttle here. But with a bow mount trolling motor, especially remote control, you don't have to deal with none of that other mess. So for the most part, the wiring was very, very easy. It's a matter of drilling a hole, fishing it, installing your plugs, and then installing your male end plugs onto your motor and then onto your battery to make it fully plug and play. I've heard a lot of good things about the AQUOS plugs. There's another plug that I'll attach in the description that I wanted to get my hands on, but it was too much of a back order on them, so I went ahead and found the AQUOS plugs. And again, guys, however many wires are coming out of your trolling motor, if it's 2 or if it's 3, you need to get the right size plug, because a 2 wire will not work in a 3 plug. So you have to marry those 2 together correctly, or it'll fry the plug itself, and it will not work. But basically, let me go ahead and pull this back off, and I'll go ahead and touch base on how I mounted my Frontier 12 bow mount to my NuCanoe Unlimited. So again, guys, they make one for the Unlimited. It's actually kind of a newer mount that actually has a handle on the back side of the mount itself. That is currently on back order. I've already placed my order, so whenever it does come back in stock, they will go ahead and ship me out one, just because I want to have the right mount that goes to it. But this is the Frontier 12 mount, okay? So it can, I repeat, it can be modified. It's a matter of drilling out a thicker or a bigger hole, okay? Getting longer screws that don't come with it, and then basically you have to, and you can see it right here, is you have to shim up the front of your bow mount with either washers or rubber screws or anything like that. You have to shim this up, because if you did not shim up this front, because if you notice on the Frontier 12 mount, it comes with an extra little beef plate right up under here that you cannot use in this boat. So you basically have to correct that with shimming up the front to make it even or as level as possible, which is fairly level and fairly close to the boat. So basically all you do is to modify this Frontier 12 mount. You drill your holes a little bit more to the front of the boat, and then you turn around, and I went off, so I centered my, because there's another screw up under here, I centered that one where I did not have to drill an extra hole. And what that does is, at that point, is when I mounted this here, this pushed this mount a little bit back so it covered the hole. So you basically have to just drill another hole straight through your mount to make it go into the pre-drilled holes for where your handle goes. And then to get it leveled out completely, you just add some, I use washers. I actually use a rubber washer on the first and a rubber washer on the back, and then I filled it with stainless steel washers in the middle. That took a total of, I want to say, 6 washers. Okay, so if you go to the hardware store, get 6 washers. All right, and then basically once you have that done, the bottom mount ready to rock and roll, then you just mount your quick release block or plate, whatever you want to call it, straight to that mount itself. It goes, basically I put 4 screws in mine, one in each corner, and then I put backing nuts on the back of it just to keep it in place. And then once you do that, you're ready to rock and roll. It is ready to go, and you can actually still use this as a handle. That's what I did on my Pursuit. But I'm really looking forward to the Unlimited one because it has actually a cutout for you to have a nice sturdy handle while you have the bow mount installed on the Unlimited. So really looking forward to that. So basically, give me just 1 second. I am going to flip the camera around and I am going to plug up everything and show you how it all works. Stay tuned. All right, guys, so I got the motor placed back onto the Unlimited. As you can see, this motor is very, very cool. It has your battery volt or battery percentage right there, 100%, 50%, 20%. And so usually keep in mind whenever you're running and gunning a lot, that 100, it'll still have full battery, but that 100 will go away and only show the 50. But then whenever you come to a stop, the 100 will pop back up. Just keep that in mind. But basically all you do is, once it is sitting on your bow mount itself, you take the bracket that comes with it and you slide it straight through, actually on this side, slide it straight through those 2 holes. All right, all the way over, and then you put a little locking clip right here. And so basically that holds that motor in place now. So whenever it's in power, it's not going to just take off and fall off your boat itself. So as you can tell, I have my battery plugged up, my Amped Outdoors battery into the Atwood plug. That's why it's showing power at the front of the, on the troll motor itself. And then let me go ahead and drop it, and hopefully I don't drop the camera while I do this. So basically what you do, I don't know if you can see me or not, let me see. Not really. Basically all you do is you're just gonna pop the release right here. Your motor is gonna drop down. You'll hear that triple click. That means the battery or the power is engaged. And then basically then you can easily take your remote. It's gonna hit my bag here. Hopefully not too much. And basically with the remote, this is your start button. It's gonna hit that, I bet. Ooh, it may. Let's see what happens. I may hit my prop off here. All right, so basically, let me go ahead and turn it. All right, so right here, here's your on and off for the propeller, okay? And then you have your speeds, up speed here, down speed here, and then you can turn with these 2 right here. So basically, you get it started up. That's 1 setting, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It has 10 speeds, guys. 10 speeds. It's hard to come by these days. All right, and then you can see right here, it easily moves left to right. Very, very simple. All right, and then I cut it all off. Now keep in mind, if you're at say speed 5 or 10 and you hit this center button, whenever you go to hit that center button again to start it back up, it memorizes what speed it was on. So it was on 10, so I have to turn around and go all the way if I want to drop it all the way back down. See, and when you notice when it's bottomed out or topped out, that there's no clicking on the motor itself. All right. Pretty sweet. Pretty exciting to say the least, guys. But basically, that's pretty much how it works. And you're ready to rock and roll. I have not able to kill that battery yet, the 60 amp hours, so that's a huge plus. And again, guys, I don't know if you could see it a minute ago. Sorry, my dog's barking. So how you deploy the bow mount troll motor is you just hit these latches right here, and then it'll drop into the water. Now I am gonna attach a string, some paracord right here, and probably to the bungee to the back of my pod, just where I can easily set it down into the water. Most of the time I don't have to worry about that because I usually just lean up. Since there's so much stability, I'll just lean over my pod and ease it down into the water. Then whenever I get back boat ramp, I'll just lean back over the pod, hit the latch, and then I'll pull it back up myself. Very, very simple to use, very easy. It lasts a long time. Like I said, I've had no trouble with this motor whatsoever. I know a lot of people want to go get that XI3, and trust me, I want one too. But at the same time, this is a huge money saver, and it gets you on the water and it gets you rocking and rolling. So let me get the camera flipped back around and I'll get back with y'all just once. I got the camera flipped back around. That's pretty much it for the whole install. Like I said, it was a very, very simple process to install. There's a few videos on YouTube about it. Derek Brundle did an outstanding video from start to finish, installing his Motor Guide XI3 onto his Unlimited. And I kind of went by that just a little bit, but again, guys, it's very, very simple. As long as you know how to connect wires, know how to fish wires, and you just keep, however you take that plate off with the rubber gasket, make sure you put the rubber gasket on, then the plate on, then the plug, so on and so forth, so you don't have to basically undo what you just did to make it all work. So that's definitely huge whenever it comes to installing this, and my camera's crooked, it's gonna drive me crazy. All right, that's a little bit better. But anyways, God, that's terrible. There we go, that's better. But anyways, guys, like I said, very, very easy install. I'll link up all in the description box below. I'll link up where I found all the wires I got at Home Depot, the AQUOS I got on Amazon, the motor I got on Amazon, wire connectors, all that stuff. I'll link that up in the description box below. And please, guys, I know this was kind of a quick walkthrough video of how I've installed it. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. And if I have to, you can call me on my cell phone and I'll walk you through it. It's very, very simple. As long as you drill your right holes and you run your wires, you connect your wires correctly, you will have no issues whatsoever. I tell you what, this whole plug and play system, because on my Pursuit, I didn't do plug and play. I basically had a long wire on the top of my boat running from my bow mount all the way to my battery. And I had a deep cycle battery at that time. So it was a pain in the butt to take my battery or take my motor on and off of my boat. It was crazy. If one thing I will tell you, if you're worried about plug and play, if you're worried about putting plugs in your boat, all this stuff, I'm telling you, don't be worried, okay? It can easily be fixed. It can easily, you can get new plugs all day long. And so your back will thank you each and every day if you just do a plug and play, because everything else is just a disaster. I can promise you that. So definitely, if you have to save the little extra money to get the plugs, I mean, the plugs are only, I want to say, $10 a piece, but if you can't afford them right now, definitely save that extra 10, 20 bucks, whatever you need to make it all work. Plug and play will save you so much time and so much effort each and every time you're on the water, guys. I will also link up my battery, where I bought my battery, ampedoutdoors.com. Very, very simple, but I'll go ahead and link it up so you can start watching when those next batteries come out, because you literally have to watch them constantly every day to see when they're going to drop that date so you can get your hands on your battery. But for the most part, guys, another thing I want to touch on too is with the remote. It comes with a USB charger, so very, very useful. You just plug it in right into the back right here where this plug is, plug it in with a USB and you're good to go. And I have fully charged this, and I have yet to kill this neither. So this battery inside here lasts a very, very long time. Very, very long time, guys. But again, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please reach out to me, DM me on Facebook or Instagram. I am more than happy to answer any and all questions you may have. And if you want me to break it all down and basically reinstall it, I'm more than happy to reinstall it as well, guys. Oh, I forgot one thing, guys. All right, the wiring plates on the Unlimited. Okay, yes, you're drilling a hole through that wiring plate where the rubber gasket, the black plate, you got one up front, two in the middle. Keep in mind that if you make a bad cut or you drill a wrong size hole and you basically trash that little black plate, you can buy new black plates on NuCanoe for very, very cheap. So don't worry if you do blotch up your first plate. It can be taken care of, okay? Just trust me on that. They have them on their website. All you gotta do is order. It'll be here in a couple of days, guys. So don't be concerned if you do mess up that plate. It's not gonna hurt nothing, okay? You can easily replace it, be good to go, guys. But again, guys, back to what I was saying is thank y'all so much for watching. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. If you want to see any other type of video or more in-depth video of this installs, please do not hesitate to reach out to me and I will answer any and all questions, guys. Thank y'all so much for watching. Stay tuned, stay classy, and at the end of the day, keep them tight lines, guys. Deuces.